If you're somebody who is active and you don't lift weight, I want to encourage you to start lifting weight. When you lift weight, it helps your bones. Like your bone is one of the first things that start getting weak as you grow older. And I'm saying it because it's something I saw with my grandmother as before she passed. Your body will start failing you the older you get. And when you lift, you definitely reap the reward as you get older. So, incorporate some lifting, to strengthen your bones. I'm not a bodybuilder. It's more about like the reps that I get. I can use a little weight and I just keep going until whatever body part I'm working is on fire. Look at that. And when it comes to lifting, it's not about finding the heaviest weight or lifting the heaviest weight that you can find. It's like anything in life. You take your time. I can use a little lightweight, baby, and do a lot of reps on that lightweight until my muscles start literally set on fire. So I'm not interested in lifting heavy weight because I'm not a bodybuilder. It's more for the longevity and looking nice. oh boy, gosh. You see? That right, that's the full range of motion to get that stretch on the quad. Like I keep letting that stuff down until my buttock feels like it's coming off the chair. That's when I push off. And one of my fears when it comes to working out is having like big upper body and then having skinny legs. It looks like crayfish. That's why I working leg workout, it's usually my favorite workout. It's hard, but I love that kind of hard. I think we are all creators. And what I mean by that is, it's not just about creating content. It's not about just making videos. I think anything that you do that comes from within is you creating. I was talking to somebody and I asked them, what's your passion? They said, it's showing compassion. If your passion is showing compassion to people, the expression of your compassion towards a person is creating. It's creativity, right? It's something that comes from within. Anything that you do that comes from, that comes from the depth of your being, I believe that's creativity. So just think about your passion. Think about when you help somebody on the street, when you see somebody in need and you help them, you have created something. You've created joy for that person, and even you yourself, there's a feeling of fulfillment. Yeah. That's really the way I think about it. We are all creators. Is that making sense? Well, that's just a thought I had. Okay. All right, it's about that time. I am so hungry, and I'm trying to figure out what to eat, right? Look at the time. It's 2:06, and I haven't had anything to eat all day. I only had banana. So, but I'm thinking if I should get smoothie or acai bowl. Options, which one? You know what? I'll figure it out. There is this spot in Atlanta. If you ever come to Atlanta, I'm about to put you guys on. Ooh. This is too beautiful for only my eyes to behold. I just want to live in a paradise. I just want to live my own life. I just want to live real to myself. A man will only change when he no longer lies to himself, when he no longer deceives himself and say that he do not care for the outer validations. Oh, Robbie. Oh, Robbie. Say the true, Robbie. Be authentic to yourself. Do you care the way that you're perceived? Do you care what they think about you? Do you seek their validation? The truth is, I do. And not necessarily the validation, because I know the praises of men comes with a snare. It's a trap. It entraps you. It makes you a slave. It makes you the clown of the show where you keep entertaining and you keep performing and performing until you deserve. And before you know it, life has passed you by. And you But I just want to live. I just want to be. I want to live in my own paradise. What paradise? I want to give to the world. But how can I give to the world if I don't possess it? How can I give what I don't possess? I just want to live in a paradise. What paradise? Where is paradise? It's not necessarily an external paradise, although that would be nice. But it's a paradise that is within. It's a paradise that I can see everywhere that I am. It's a paradise of my own perception. The paradise is me using 100% of my free will, being authentic to myself. The paradise is freedom, folks. The paradise is freedom. You see, the freedom that comes when I start being governed by the storms within. See, it's all in my head. The freedom that comes when I take charge of myself and stop allowing myself to be fooled into seeking external validations, instant gratifications, stimulations from the world, and distractions. Because to chase external validation is to admit, it's to confess that there is something missing internally, a vacancy. And when I keep chasing instant gratification, I am mistrusting. I mistrust the depth, the beauty of my own becoming. And the stimulation I constantly drown myself in is a sign of the fear, of the silence, The silence that I say I seek. The silence I say I need. Paradise. This is how we get to paradise, folks. We'll get there. We'll get there. You know, I just lost my grandmother, and it's a different kind of grief, and I know we grieve differently, and I know I'm not alone, so it's not like I need sympathy. But, you know, it brought me to a place where I started asking myself, and a place where I came face to face with myself in a way to, to realize that, well, first of all, none of us is alone in this world. Even though it seems like you're living your own separate life, we all are really living the same life, just in different lenses. And the most important thing that you can do is to truly live for yourself. And I know it's easy to say, but that's the truth. Because it's in living for yourself that you can begin to possess the world. And only then can you give what you possess, because you can never give what you do not possess. You can never give what you do not have. So we have to put away the distractions. I know I have to get rid of the distraction. These are the distractions that keep me from facing my shame, from facing my pain. You gotta go, folks. It has to go. Because a man will only change when he faces his shame. A man will only change when he regulates his nervous systems, move through that and faces all of his pains. And so we all have to be gentle with ourselves, because a man will only change when he finds compassion for the past and for his parents. You see, I still carry pain from my father. But I know a man can't change holding on to the past. You have to let go of the past. And that's not me saying you cannot acknowledge the past, but it means that there is no past to overcome, and there is no future to achieve. That is to say that who you are now is enough. Who you are now is enough. And if what you want to do is create, then create, like your life depends on it. If what you want to do is sing, you go sing like your life depends on it. If what you want to do is cook, whatever it is that you want to do, do it with all of your might. Do not be worried about how people will perceive you. We have to transcend that. Who you are now is enough. So let the past go. A man will only change when he finds compassion and forgiveness for himself, for who he was and who he is. There is no past self to overcome. There is no present self to achieve. And yes, I just lost my grandmother, a woman who is beloved, and I do feel anger. Now, before I say this, I have to say, I am a Christian. And I don't even know if I should go into that, but I do feel anger in a way. I guess maybe it's selfishness. I just felt like I would have loved to see her again. And one of my prayers was for God to just let me see her one more time before she leaves. And I said this prayer a long time ago. But I can't help but think to myself as well, because I had a chance, I had the opportunity to go Christmas that just went by. But I didn't. I had the ticket and everything, and I canceled it. I didn't know this would happen. And so it's like, can I really be mad at God? Maybe my anger is really not at Him. Because I had that chance. I could have gone, I could have seen her. I've been in this land for 13 years. And I never knew that when I was coming over here, that would have been the last time. Okay, but enough of that. I don't want to put on my grief on nobody else. But I hope you guys can just, appreciate my honesty in a way. But I believe it's the right time. And maybe I'm not angry at God. Maybe I'm angry at myself. But this experience led me to a place where to dig deeper. Even in the way that I create. It's almost like it's lit a fire within me. It's interesting how the things that makes us feel the most alive sometimes are the things that, that shakes us, that rattles us. It's interesting how something like mortality, which most times we seem not to talk about or give much thought to, and it has a way of centering us and making us prioritize the things that truly matter. The goal is to always stay in that frame of mind where you do everything with that passion. When you help, you help. When you see somebody going down a way, when you see somebody who needs the word, who needs the comfort, when you see a person who needs help, you're willing to just go the extra mile, not just for you, but for others. But ultimately, you're willing to live authentically and intentionally. I think most of you have seen that video on Netflix about the Eric Dane guy, his famous last word before he passed. And he passed on the 19th of February, I believe. And there was an interview that was recorded, and they released it after he passed, And I want to encourage you to watch that. That's the least that we can do in honor of his memory. Even if you don't know him. I didn't really know him until after he passed. But that's something that we all will deal with. You will only change, not when you feel shame, not when you feel pain, not when you feel even hurt, but once you stop running away from them. See, there is something that those things bring out inside of you once you embrace them. People will only change when they realize that the life that they've been living hasn't been their own. And that's the thing that gets me. It's like, I just want to be real. I just want to live my life outside of the influence of anything that is, that's not serving me. Anything, outside of anything that is not making me or allowing me to be my most authentic self. I just want to live my life outside of any external validation or perception. And there is a tug pulling back and forth when I find myself there, and I'm like, one way to go, that is my authentic self, but there is another way that is dragging me, and that's the way that has been influenced by external perception. Wanting to conform to the world, wanting to do things the way that, wanting to do things not for myself, not being real. It's like corrupting the realness that is coming from within. My real ideas that comes from within, and I corrupt it because I feel like it might not be special enough to let it be as its own. So I want to put on other things and add on other things. And it's like, maybe the things that I'm adding to it is exactly why it's not unique. Maybe the things that I'm adding to my own authentic self is what watering me down. That's what waters us down. We want to create our own world, but we don't think it's beautiful enough. Sometimes that's what happened to us. Sometimes we don't respect ourselves. We don't respect ourselves as much as we should. Sometimes we want to do something and we feel like we have to ask other people for their ideas before we put it out there. Oh, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? It's almost as if what we think is not good enough. It's almost as if we can't just do something and be okay with the finished product. We can't say a word and be okay with the word that we have spoken. We need to get somebody to go over it. We need to get somebody to look over our work, to look over what we create, to look, to follow behind us. And when the person says it's good, we automatically think that every other person will find it good. But we have to realize that, and whatever comes from you, that is your authentic product, that is your authentic self. And when you try to make it accepted, when you try to package it for the masses, that's when you begin to taint it. That's when you begin to take away the uniqueness from what you have created, from your idea, from who you are. When you try, now you conform to the masses. Now you conform to the world. And now you're not an original template. And this drives me crazy. And I'm making a commitment to myself right here. I will be my authentic self. I will do stuff to my own standard. And when my standard is not great enough, I will keep elevating my standard. When I speak, I will speak as myself, not worrying or filtering in through my mind or through my head how it might be perceived. Who's going to like it or who won't like it. Because at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, and you lie right there on your deathbed, the only regret that you will have is it will be the things that you know to do and you didn't do. When you allow your charge to rule over you, when you were deceived and you never came face to face with your internal urges or hunger, your internal desires, the ones that you denied, instead of embracing them and coming face to face with them so that you can transcend over them. When we can sit with the things that we're constantly running away from, that's when we come to a place of awareness. If I die right now, would I be able to say, oh, I went after the things that I love? If I die right now, would I have peace knowing that, oh, I lived the kind of life that I wanted to live? I was true to myself. I went after the things that I wanted to go after. You see, sometimes, this is something I've noticed. You see, we can't allow the external thing. We have to rise above the surges. We have to rise above external validation and perception. And what I mean by that is we can't be controlled by those things. We can't be controlled by our charges. Yes, they are there, and we can acknowledge it. But, I've lost my train of thought. But I think, what was I trying to say really? What was my point? Oh, okay, yeah. All right. So I said, as we are on our journey, we are going to be aware of external things. And what I mean by that is the people who watch us. And sometimes we can let those things affect the way that we do things, right? Where we start performing for the people who are watching us. But you have to understand, people watch for different reasons. Not saying it's bad or good. And people interact with you from from different places. Some people will not interact with you, not because they have personal beef with you, but because them interacting with you will make them, forces them to ask themselves a question as to what they are doing with their life. The moment they interact with you, they are forced to compare themselves with you. And this is the truth. As whatever you look, there are always people watching. And even if they are not watching intentionally, once they come across you, there are always people, they are watching, and they watch from these lenses. And I think this is something that we should be aware of. So you don't get carried away with the people who are watching. I think what we always want to do is to be true and authentic to ourselves. Now, thank you guys so much, and I appreciate you all for watching. And, hold the people close to you there. Love them, tell them you love them. Don't take any moment for granted. And, pursue your dreams. Live fully, and keep the main thing. Love you.